How's it going, everybody? My name is Snazzy Patty, and today we are checking out a video by Nerdstalgic. This video is called Modern TV Has a Massive Problem. I don't know what it could be, but how's it going, everybody? My name is Snazzy Patty, and today we are checking out a video by Nerdstalgic. This video is called Modern TV Has a Massive Problem. Now, I'm not sure what that problem could be, but before we find out, make sure to go show your love to the original video. The link will be in the description down below. We are joined by the kitty cat today, I guess. But without further ado, man, let's go. Let's get into this.
Now, say my name.
This is Breaking Bad, one of the small screen's most hallowed achievements.
Damn right.
Science, bitch!
The show heralded the status quo we're currently living through, what we commonly refer to as peak TV. Or at least, we used to be living.
Okay, real quick, but this is a short video, so I'm not going to try to talk too much, so this turns into a 30-minute reaction. But I'm currently watching Breaking Bad. I started it once, never finished it. I know I still have yet to finish it. So, it's so far been pretty fucking good, though. I love Breaking Bad. It's a great show.
Through it. Are we still? Is TV still amazing? It used to be, but now it kind of feels like the attributes that made the shows we all love so fantastic have ruined everything.
So what, no f***ing ZD now? Hey!
Fucking watch your mouth, huh? Your mother's right here. That's a good show right there. The Sopranos. Oh.
Television. The small screen. Originally introduced in the late 1920s, but not widely adopted until the 1950s. For the majority of its existence, television shows were produced under an advertiser model. Comedies, action-adventure shows, quiz shows, the news, and countless other variety of programs, all put out on the airwaves for free. And the idea that the companies producing these shows would make money off advertisers paying to tell people about their goods or services during pre-planned breaks. That's how you got shows like the Colgate Comedy Hour, or the term soap opera, named for the fact that the daytime melodramas were heavily sponsored by detergent brands targeting stay-at-home mothers.
As the world turns.
That's actually a really cool fact. I never knew that soap operas were called that for that reason. But that makes a lot of sense. You hear the word soap opera, you think of the shows, they're very usually, there's some shit your mom would watch or your grandmother. And it makes sense, back then it was more stereotypical for the mothers and the women to stay home, and you know how that all goes. So, but that's just a cool fact. I never knew.
Today by Ivory Soap.
For about the first 50 years of the medium's existence, this is the way things worked. Half-hour shows with 22 minutes of story and 8 minutes of commercials, and these shows were usually produced with 22-episode-long seasons. People watched them, were exposed to advertisements, and theoretically bought the products. The cycle repeated. Unions sprung up and cut deals to ensure that the creatives working in the various industries were cut in on profits, and residuals were paid if the shows were screened repeatedly after their initial run. These positive moves forward were hard-won, and sometimes took decades to come to fruition. Well, this all started to shift when basic cable was introduced. Viewers could pay for premium channels and circumvent the ad-supported model.
It's over, Lemon. They're selling NBC to a company called Cable Town, with a K.
In order to keep people coming back, these premium cable channels started exploring new ways to convert viewers. And
So is this where streaming services really started?
of course, this is where we find our first big turning point, The Sopranos. The show, following the life of a New Jersey mob boss, was character-driven and filled with things you couldn't see on your standard network TV show. However, due to the fact that HBO wasn't a massive network yet, they couldn't afford to produce the show at the cadence of regular TV shows. Thus, the 13-episode season was introduced. From here, other shows would eventually follow suit. Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, and countless others all adopted this same business model. Initially, this was fine. These were more bespoke efforts, premium or basic cable shows that were targeted at a more mature audience.
Oh, where's the f***ing money?
Oh, get the money!
I know you'll get the f***ing money.
When the streaming era started and Netflix wanted to prove that their platform could make TV better than any TV you could see anywhere else, what did they do? They copied this playbook. Orange is the New Black and House of Cards both opted for 13-episode-length seasons. And it worked. The shows were also released with a new improvement over what had come before. All 13 episodes were available at once. Netflix had noticed a trend.
That's something I will say I appreciated at first, getting all of them at first, because then you could just binge them all at once. But there's two reasons why I've now changed my mind. One, spoilers. That's the most obvious reason. Some people can binge them faster, and the spoilers are just annoying, right? Especially now with TikTok and all the short form content, how quick and easy it is to just make a quick edit because there's apps that do it for you pretty much, and AI that does it for you. It's so easy and it's so saturated that it's kind of like almost impossible. Like I will avoid social media and I'll avoid it. A lot of stuff. I'll avoid YouTube. I might not even make videos for a day or two just because I'm trying to catch up on a show before I get spoiled. I'm not gonna lie. But the second reason why is because honestly, there is something nice about having to wait a week before you know what happens next. You get to digest the show a little slower and think about it more instead of just brainless, turn your brain off and just, mindlessly watch the show through. And it also leaves rooms for fan theories and communities to talk about the show and what they think is going to happen next. So honestly, I definitely would say now I prefer weekly episodic releases.
That people wanted to watch the show straight through, and so they were hell-bent on making shows for this new binge watch culture, and it worked. People loved it. Not only were the shows a success, but they basically redefined how shows were made.
We're not okay. This is not fine.
Good. Now we can talk about it.
But here's the catch. As almost every show being produced started to pivot to this production model, not all the creators had the same vision and facility as David Fincher and Genji Cohen. The shows started to sag. They couldn't keep up with the level of pacing and quality. This downturn is most significantly represented in the Marvel Studios Netflix collaboration. When Marvel announced they were going to be producing 4 separate TV shows and a crossover show with Netflix, the fan base was initially overjoyed. And then as the show started to come out, the beginning of the
I tried. I couldn't get into like any of these. I watched like the first season and the second season of Luke Cage, I think, and that was about it. For a couple episodes of Iron Fist, a couple episodes of Daredevil, an episode or two of Jessica, or whatever. But I couldn't get into any of them.
season would be great, the middle would sag and feel like it was cobbled together out of filler ideas, and then the end would be strong. Unless you're talking about Iron Fist, and then the whole thing just sucks beyond belief. But this structuring issue would be quickly dubbed the Netflix problem, and it began to be a constant across all shows made in the streaming era.
Not everyone deserves a happy ending.
So not only is it a problem that shows are by and large all shorter now, but they also suffer from these bizarre pacing issues. Paramount bet big on the Star Trek IP, greenlighting 5 separate shows set in Gene Roddenberry's not too far off future, and all of them are 10-episode seasons. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, a prequel to the original series, should have been a 22-episode adventure of the week show, and yet it's not. Why? Who knows? It's not because that's just not fashionable, even though the style and subject matter of the show practically demands it.
Suffering can be transformed into insight.
Shorter seasons are bad for actors who can't afford to live in Los Angeles. They're bad for writers who both can't afford to live on the work they're given, but are often put into holding deals so they literally can't write on other shows while waiting to hear about season pickups and renewals. They're bad for studios because production timelines are just as long, if not longer, but the show yields half the viewers, due to seasons being half the length. And they're bad for audiences because there's simultaneously less of the show they love, and there's less time for the creators involved to figure out the idea they're making.
This is bad. You understand how bad this is.
Seriously, are we gonna get canceled? I just bought a mattress.
Think about the fact that so many of your favorite shows take a season or two to figure out what it is. Writers, actors, and directors aren't robots. It's not like you just input make good show and it spits out high quality, dazzling work. It's not math, it's magic. You need time to mix and match elements, to play around and splash paint on the canvas. Star Trek The Next Generation didn't get good until season 3. That's 74 episodes into the run. Want to guess how many episodes of Star Trek Discovery there are in total? 65. Over 5 seasons. No wonder the show never got good.
Guilty on all counts.
Is there anything you would like to say in your defense?
I was raised to believe.
See, I feel like a lot of TV shows now, they either completely suck from the start and, like he's saying, they don't give the show enough time to, fix itself and get better, or a show does come out and it has a really good first couple seasons, but as it goes on, as they try to milk the cow for money, it gets sloppier and it gets worse. Some of my best examples would probably be Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead. sh- people need to like learn when to let it die. Especially like with movies. A lot of movies do this, you know. A lot of great trilogies that then they make so much money that they're like, all right, let's make a fourth one. Or a lot of good movies that just had a really good first movie and they're like, oh my god, it's so good, let's make two more, make it a trilogy, and then the rest suck. If it's good and you do not have the same type of passion or inspiration to make another, like, a second or a third or whatever, you know, another version of it, don't. Let it die, alright? And I mean that for the audience and the creators alike, man. People need to just let it be what it was and appreciate it for what it was. And if they miss it, they can go back and rewatch it. It's not like you can only. I get you never get to rewatch it for the first time again, and it's not going to be the same feeling. But it's better than watching something you love get turned to shit because you and the creators ruined it for profit, pretty much.
That service was my purpose, and I carried that conviction to Starfleet.
In theory, shorter seasons seem like a great idea. They allow the modern adult viewer to not have to sink hours and hours and hours of their time into watching a specific show. You can get a whole beginning, middle, and end of a season in roughly 10 hours, but that requires a tightrope walking on the creative front that is almost impossible to accomplish.
And that doesn't allow a lot of room for creativity and freedom. And specifically for me, what it impacts that I like appreciate in shows and movies, shows. We're not even talking about movies here, but in shows, is that it leaves so little room for filler character moments. And I get it, filler isn't always everyone's favorite, but to me, it helps flesh out a character and make me believe the character is real.
Take Rings of Power, for instance. It's quite literally the most expensive TV show ever produced. And yet, even with the most amazing directors and writers on the planet, it's still pretty weak due to the simple fact that all the theoretical planning and outlining in the world isn't going to just make the show good.
My hand is past feeling.
No. This place is so evil, our torches give off no warmth.
How many times has Vince Gilligan said that he didn't have a plan for Breaking Bad? They found it as they went.
And I'm not going to sit here and say we always got it right at Breaking Bad, because we probably didn't.
Same thing for comedy legend Michael Schur. In a Vanity Fair interview, he called this problem of shorter seasons the single biggest issue facing the future of television production. In the interview, he outlines multiple issues covering many of the topics we've discussed here today, but one of his most salient points is that it is exceedingly rare for a show to go for many, many seasons. Using the example of The Office, he points out that Jim and Pam didn't kiss until episode 28. He then posits, imagine that is just the end of your show, not the beginning.
Because of Amazon and Netflix, they're just full on saying, like, this is a drug, and we are trying to hook you on the drug, and when you get to the end of the hit, it's like, what's going to make you watch another one?
That's such a succinct way of putting it. Television today is supposed to be the Wild West. It's supposed to be a limitless canvas where artists and storytellers can craft compelling narratives in a way they just can't on the feature film side of things. And yet, is peak TV still a thing? Are we living through a golden age anymore? Or have we matured past it? And now we're living in whatever happens after the golden age. That's all we got for this episode. Please be sure to like.
Hey man, that was another great video by Nerdstalgic. I'm always happy to react to their videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said earlier in the beginning, make sure to show your love to these guys. Link to the original video will be down in the description below. But without further ado, make sure to like, subscribe, put on your notifications. Let me know what you want to see me react to in the comments down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, stay snazzy, and stay blessed.